In this video, I will try to explain the timeline of Madara manga because there are a lot of new characters such as Narita, Judashiki, and there are a lot of interwoven events that seems to make the story all the more complicated and gripping. According to the Madara manga timeline, the first event we have is the outcome after the war. The Hokage and the last remaining Uchiha were able to achieve the long-awaited peace. However, Momoshiki attacked and everything has changed. A new settlement was created in Konoha after the raid of the Otsutsuki, and the Gray Maple settlement was established. During this time, the ninja world was divided in two after the Hokage's defeat, and he was nowhere to be found. Two factions were born. The faction that believed that Naruto died as a hero, and others that think Naruto has abandoned them after the war against Momoshiki. What happened next is one of the most important events in the entire Madara manga story. An Otsutsuki descendant that does not seem to bear hatred towards the human race appeared with a very game-changing plan. He met with Hagoromo and asked his help for something that would change the entire story of Madara manga. Judashiki reveals that the seal he has bestowed upon the Otsutsuki is weakening, and the situation could turn out to be very bad. This implies the well-organized plan of Ishiki to turn human into Otsutsuki puppets through some kind of unseen parasite. Judashiki understands very well the gravity of this situation and reveals that he plans to resurrect Madara Uchiha to level the playing field, maybe even end this ongoing war. Keep in mind, guys, that this was revealed in chapter 14, page 6 and 7 of Madara manga. Judashiki further explains that Otsutsuki human hybrids will be a threat and a big problem in the future. Page 7, Judashiki reveals that he needs to revive a certain someone, and he will need the help of Hagoromo in this process. This all happened in some kind of astral realm long before any event. In the story, what happened after that is the conversation between Hagoromo and Uchiha Madara in some kind of spiritual place. We all saw that in the beginning of the story. This is where it all began. Back now to chapter 1, where Madara Uchiha was revived through the actions of Hagoromo. This is where we get the legendary speech of Sage Hagoromo about Madara becoming a defender rather than a destroyer. After that, we see the ghost of the Uchiha escaping the underground facility where his body was held in after the war. He faces off against the faction soldiers, destroying them without mercy. This is exactly where Sasuke's Rinnegan activated without his consent. Later in the chapters, Sasuke explains that it seems under control now, but he was wondering why would his Rinnegan act like that. Later on, we get introduced to Sasuke's youngest daughter Narita, which has a unique resemblance to our hero Itachi. She seems to be mercilessly interrogating a member of the opposing factions as she has broken her fingers. Sasuke comes along and they have a conversation. After Madara escapes the underground laboratory, he encounters Shiro, a mysterious member that has a unique powers which allow him to portal manipulate. He assists Madara after his fight against Ishiki to escape the deteriorating domain. Right after Ishiki's defeat, Judashiki appears and destroys the temple of this Otsutsuki, eliminating any chances of his resurrection. Judashiki also kidnaps an infected human female host with the Otsutsuki parasite and explains the entire plan of the alien clan to take over humanity. Later on, we see Madara having lunch with Shiro as Shiro reveals his true identity. Let's not, guys, also forget to mention that Sarada was tasked with a very important mission, and that is discover what is happening deep inside the laboratories of the opposing factions. She discovers that there are some experiments on former members of the formerly known Konoha village. A subscriber of mine going by the name Minhals pointed out a very interesting observation. He said that the clone in the tank resembles Tobirama, so it could be his clone. Thank you for your keen observation, my friend. Now we have Madara heading to Konoha, the last time we saw him, and the youngest Uchiha facing off with Delta. All of this is happening while Sasuke is being interrogated for his action. I hope, guys, you have a somewhat of an understanding of the timeline of Madara manga. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. This has been Blast Art. I will be seeing you in the next video.